Good morning. Me and Casey have woken up for this, so we expect you to enjoy it. It is the NFL Championship round preview, but first we are going to talk about the division games from last week. Craziest weekend ever.
Yeah,
That was something special. I guess we can start with the Bengals Titans because that was the first game.
yeah,
I didn't write down any stats like I did last week, so I'm just gonna go full out wing it. But yeah, that was crazy. They how many picks did Ryan Tannehill throw? It was like two or three. Three picks from Tannehill, and I think I stand by Chiefs playing the Steelers in the first round and coming out of it with no injuries is better than a bye because look what happened to the Titans
that's true. Yeah, and the Packers on the other side. I know we'll talk about that, but
and the
both
Packers.
teams getting taken down by wild card teams. Crazy. It's just yeah,
So the Titans lose in their own home. This is the first time they were the one seed in their history, I believe.
yeah, yeah.
So
You're right.
it was just to see that. I mean, I wasn't shocked by it. In fact, I actually predicted Cincy on our last stream.
Oh, that's right.
And speaking of those predictions, Casey,
Yeah.
you went 1 for 4, my friend.
Oh god. Oh god. Yeah.
Well, you were on the verge of being 0 for 4 because LA tried to blow a lead, but
Yeah.
Kanav also went 1 for 4 after talking a bunch of shit about how my picks were terrible, and my picks were about average because I went 2 for 4, so half.
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was the only one who took Cincy out of all you guys, and then I was the only one who took Kansas City. So,
Yeah. Crazy.
sheesh. So
Yeah.
back
Well.
to Cincy and Tennessee though. That's just a tough loss for the Titans to take there. That's
Yeah.
brutal. Their season they're over. They're done. Derrick Henry was pretty much a non-factor in that game. I mean, I know he had a touchdown, but
Yeah.
playing with a metal plate in his foot and a bunch of screws.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
effective can he really be?
Yeah. He was averaging like 3 yards a carry. Like he was really bad in that game, and I don't know. I just feel like the Titans kind of didn't expect this much of a good game from the Bengals. I mean, the Bengals were coming into this with momentum, with a pretty good win over the Raiders. Still hurts, but like, yeah, the Titans. I don't know. It's just something about that game. They had a chance to win it, and then Tannehill threw that interception with like less than a minute left, and it really ended it. Yeah, so just bad game for them.
Oh, I couldn't believe that. They potentially have the game-winning drive and just throws a pick like that in his
Yeah,
own
I
in
know.
his own zone. And man, that's brutal. But
Yeah, and
you
then
know,
of course the game.
I think there was a fair crowd of people that believed that the Titans were overrated and that they weren't gonna really go anywhere.
Yeah,
I was kind of part of that crowd. I know they kicked the Chiefs' ass earlier in the season, like early on, but they hadn't really impressed me, like towards the end of the season. I feel like
yeah.
so I'm not a whole lot surprised.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I feel like the Titans were a team that I didn't hear much about because the Raiders didn't play them this year, but I definitely knew they were getting wins, but I just didn't really understand like their strength of schedule and like how good they were. It didn't really factor in. But yeah, I mean, it's I just find it kind of funny that the one seed loses, in that way. It's just
Both one seeds actually lost in that way. That's right. We're talking about Packers and 49ers now. It seems like the 49ers always make a run in the playoffs. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
It seems like they're always making a run with the Packers as well because this time they go into Lambeau. I know they played each other in the NFC Championship 2 years ago in San Fran or in Santa
Santa
Clara,
Clara.
right? Yeah, Santa Clara. Okay, and then but you know what I mean. But last time they just absolutely wiped the floor on them. This was a bit closer. It came down to that last second field goal that the 49ers, just like the Bengals, hit with time expiring. That's it, game over. And that's another brutal loss for the Packers. And there's a lot of looming questions now following this loss. Aaron Rodgers he always seems to struggle in the biggest moments. Is it just me, or is this like
True?
the dude is a fantastic quarterback. There's no denying it, but I don't really think it's appropriate to categorize him in the same, I guess, GOAT conversation as Tom Brady at this point.
Yeah.
Because, the playoffs are a big deal, and Aaron Rodgers, he's the Packers fans and everything. They could make the excuses about, oh, well, this year we had defense was bad, this and that. But to be honest, you got to have a quarterback who gets you there. But Aaron Rodgers just can't really seem to get that done when it matters the most.
Yeah, and I feel bad for him because he's obviously, like you mentioned, he's a great quarterback. And I think the thing holding him back is that he only has one Super Bowl ring. And in this game, I don't think it was 100% his fault, but he had opportunities to go down the field. And I guess it's also hard in that weather as well. I mean, the weather played a huge part in this game, being like close to 0 degrees. I'm a pretty big Aaron Rodgers fan myself, just because he's a local guy, and he went to Cal. But I wish he could kind of climb over that hump of losing early on, or in the NFC Championship every year because of just poor ability to adapt to the playoffs. He's a great quarterback in the regular season. I mean, some could say maybe he's the best regular season quarterback of our generation because the Packers always have a good record when he's. But playoffs, they play subpar, or they just don't make it to the they hardly had any Super Bowl appearances in the past decade. I think they've won. So yeah, that's a good point you made though about his clutch.
And now, just like last year, there's recurring rumors of Rodgers wanting to potentially play for the Broncos, and him potentially wanting to bring Aaron Jones with him. I think that would be the biggest mistake of his career because, you know what? He'd be the third best quarterback in the AFC West. In my opinion, I think Herbert and Mahomes are both better at this point in their careers than Rodgers, and Rodgers might even potentially miss out on the playoffs if he chooses the AFC West. I think if he chose the AFC in general, it would be a dumb decision because of all the talent within the conference. I mean, I'm talking these rising star quarterbacks: Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, but you know what I mean? It would I don't think it'd be smart at all to join the AFC, let alone the AFC West.
Yeah.
But, these are questions for the offseason. We got a lot of time to figure stuff out. But as for now, their season's over, and I snuck a video into this frame here, and I want to play it for everybody. So unfortunately, we couldn't have Kanav here today. If you notice, his logo above my head here on the stream is different. Yes, it is. It's the Bucs logo now because he got so pissed off at the Packers' loss that he claimed that he was done with them. And so I just kind of put that Bucs logo as a gag thing. But he did go live on Instagram following the loss, and he doesn't know that I screen recorded it. So let's just go ahead and give Kanav his time on this stream since he wasn't able to join us this fine morning. So, there's no audio, but this is him trying to rip apart his Rodgers jersey. And he just... The timing was perfect.
Oh my god.
And he just can't do it. He's trying, look at the strength. He's trying so hard.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
Perfect nice jersey like that. You gotta ruin it like that, man. Come on.
Look there. Oh, he gets mad. Live video ended. Oh my god. Yeah. So, I'm sorry. By the way, Your predictions sucked. Um,
Mine did
one for
too.
four. Oh, believe me, we'll talk about it
Yeah, yeah,
in a little bit. So Packers, Niners back to the conference championship. The Niners are just one of those teams that I'm not surprised that they got here because they just play tough football. They don't really fear anybody. They just kind of have this mentality where we're gonna kick your ass for 60 minutes.
yeah. And it baffles me because obviously Jimmy G is obviously right now the worst quarterback in the conference championship round.
No,
But somehow,
easily.
yeah, yeah, easily like by a mile. But somehow he is killing it. Well, his team is killing it, but he's there. Like he's I guess like he's doing his job because they're winning. So I can't really talk crap about him. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, though, will it come back to bite them in the Rams game? Who knows? I mean, definitely. I don't even think he's thrown a touchdown pass this playoffs. But it's weird because he's been subpar at best, and the 49ers have won two very important playoff games against two really good NFC teams, Cowboys and Packers. And yeah, this game was it was very slow, and I think that also block punt by the Niners really swung the momentum because they got
Oh
that
yeah.
block punt,
Oh yeah.
and after that it was up. Yeah, it was like 10-10 I think at that point. And so yeah, that was their defense really stepped up in that game. And I mean, Packers in the hitting the deck one more, once again going back to the eliminated scene, and it's kind of depressing for them. But I think they got to figure some stuff out. There's, like you said, there's gonna be a lot of decisions to be made. Maybe Devontae Adams leaves, maybe Aaron Rodgers leaves. We'll see, but it's gonna be interesting for sure.
Yeah, man. So, moving on to Sunday's slate of games, we got an incredible matchup between the Rams and the Bucks. Yeah. That son of a bitch Brady almost did it again. He almost pulled another 20-something to 3 lead out of his ass, but
I know.
He just fell short, and it almost felt like the script writers of the league wanted Tom Brady to have another crazy comeback at age 50 or 45, and then the Rams just said, no, screw you, we're winning this game. But the Rams tried to do everything in their power to lose that game. They tried to hand the game to the Bucks. I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like, all you got to do is get a field goal. That's all you got to do. And they couldn't do it. Drive after drive after drive. Stupid mistakes. The center snapping the ball over Stafford's head, throwing or fumbling the ball. Was it Akers fumbling the ball at the 1 yard line? And then there was another fumble at some point. Yeah, maybe. I don't. It was a lot. It was a lot to unpack. But
sorry.
Man, it's just it's crazy. It was a very tough evening for my boy Kanov because his beloved Buccaneers fan of for one day, longtime fan. He had to experience heartbreak back-to-back days like that. But no, that's brutal for the Bucks. But honestly, like they knew when getting Brady, we might not win a Super Bowl, but we're going to be a competitive team. And they got a Super Bowl. So honestly, like, is there a lot to be mad about for Bucks fans? I don't think so. Like, I think they got what they wanted. They got Brady. They won a Super Bowl. Yeah, this game sucked, but at the end of the day, they all did their jobs. And they were dealing with a lot of injuries coming into the playoffs too. They were missing some O-linemen, Tristan Wirfs, and maybe another person, but I tell my friends who are Bucks fans, I'm like, man, it really sucks that you didn't have a healthy O-line.
I see what you did there. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Bucks they fall short in this one barely. I mean, they tried to come back. But,
yeah, I know. Really, I mean, to your point, the Rams fumbled 4 times in this game, and it's like Cam Akers, great running back, but he got to hold on to the ball better. I mean, that was just embarrassing. And I think the Rams really stepped up. They choked 27
Hey,
lead
you're
at
like
one point,
glitching
and
hella hard.
yeah,
You're
look,
glitching
that's
hella
almost
hard right
exactly.
now. Damn.
Shoot. Oh shoot. Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, I think you're good.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, it was a 27-3 lead, and the Rams just were giving them the game. But then you got to give credit to Matthew Stafford and Cup. I mean, on that last drive, like connecting 2 times, and it wasn't quite as epic as that Chiefs drive at the end. We'll talk about that, but it was pretty cool though. Like just seeing the Rams, they choked, but then they overcame the choking, and that's something a lot of teams can't do. Because it was 27-3. That's almost exactly the same score as the Falcons. They were looking like the Falcons at that point. But yeah, I mean the Rams stepped up, and I'm happy for them because I mean it's cool to have 2 California teams still in, but I don't like the Niners, so like I'm kind of rooting for the Rams now. So yeah, I'm rooting for the state, I guess you could say.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, Rams, they went all in. They don't have a first round draft pick for the next 15 years or something like that. So, they really want to win it all this year. I mean, they're not going to have Beckham, I don't think, next year. They're going to be losing a lot of guys. Von Miller.
Yeah.
I mean, they went all in to make this a Super Bowl team, and can they get past the Niners? We'll talk about it. We will talk about it. Chiefs, Bills, craziest game of all time.
Oh my God.
And
yeah.
I've never gone through such a roller coaster of emotions the way that I did in this game, especially in the last 2 minutes plus overtime. So much to unfold here. So much to unfold. I did take a couple of notes for this game in particular because it was just that it was that insane to me. But we'll talk about it. So the Chiefs score 42 points. And honestly, I say they score 47 because Butker missed 4 points. Field goal in the PAT. So he makes those. The Chiefs score 47 points in this game.
Right.
So,
I remember that. Yeah.
Mind you, this is against the number 1 rated defense in the NFL. The number 1 defense rated. And, there's some holes in that because their schedule was pretty weak on the final stretch of the season. They played the Falcons, the Patriots 2 times. They played the Jets. They played the Panthers. It wasn't very impressive by any means.
Yeah.
Coming into this game, I knew the Chiefs were going to put up a much better fight than they did in Week 5 when they just straight up handed the game. The Chiefs had 4 turnovers in that first matchup, and this was a clean game. 0 turnovers from either side. And so I had said if it's a clean game and there's no turnovers on either side, I think the Bills will probably win. And they almost did. They almost did. That was one for the ages.
Yeah. And, I mean, Buffalo, I just feel bad for their fans. I mean,
yeah.
Like, I know I said I feel bad for fans after losing that, but, like, Bills fans really have it worse. But I just want to give credit. That dude, Gabriel Davis, was crazy in that game. Like, I'd never even heard of him before. And
yeah, I know.
he was coming out of nowhere, like, making dudes fall and, like, being wide open somehow every time in the end zone. But then, of course, the Chiefs had an answer. And, I mean, I just think that, 13 seconds? That's all you need to score a field goal, I guess. I mean, I think that game really shows that you can't give a good team like that, that consists of Mahomes and Kelsey and Tyreek. You can't give them time. You gotta, even 1 second is too much. You never know what's going to happen. But I thought the Bills were going to win that. I personally was rooting for them just because my prediction, and I mean the Chiefs are rivals with us, but like I do respect a good game. So yeah.
So like I mentioned before, the Chiefs, they scored 47 technically 42, but 47 real true points in this game. And my man, you said they were going to score 15. 15, bro. What's wrong with you?
Something was...
I need you to elaborate on this. You said they were going to score 15 points, and here they come out. 47.
I don't know why I thought that, but I thought the Bills defense was going to play a lot better. And Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was gonna be a more of a low scoring game because I thought like the defenses were gonna play better. Like the Chiefs defense has been good lately, and like the Bills defense has been good. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna do that. Make that prediction again because it didn't work out for me. But yeah, maybe not the best prediction of my career.
Now,
But
and you chose Buffalo to win this game. And I
yeah,
on the last stream, I told you, like, I'm a man of second chances. You can pick the Chiefs. I know you don't like them, but I'm in the for the sake of your predictions, I'm trying to help a brother out. But you didn't take me up on that offer, and
yeah,
I can't say anything other than I told you. I tried to tell you.
yeah. And
But
I know, sorry, I know a big controversy of this game was the coin, the overtime rules. How do you
oh
feel about? I mean, like,
oh
your
hush.
team.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't feel bad for the Bills because the Chiefs tried to they the Chiefs tried to change this rule, and the Bills were one of the teams that shut it down. So I don't. I mean, this was 2 years ago. It's not like, oh well, this happened back in the night. No, this was 2 years ago after the Chiefs lost in the AFC Championship to the Patriots because of the same thing. They just lost the coin toss and that was it. But no, I don't. I feel bad for the Bills fans because clearly they've been going through a rough patch the last 2 decades, and to lose in that kind of fashion is even more heartbreaking. So if anybody, I feel bad for the Bills Mafia, but the Bills themselves, I don't feel bad. They turned it down. They didn't want it. But I think I've always, not always, but since that AFC Championship, thought the rules were a little stupid. But how do you go about fixing it? Because originally I was like, oh, we'll just make it an added period, like make it an added overtime and just play until the clock runs out, see who wins. But you can't do that because football takes so much energy. You can't just play an extra quarter in its entirety. You can't do it. Not enough time in between weeks to rest. So how do you go about it? Well, maybe adopt college rules. Make it a shootout. Was it 10-yard
Yeah,
line? You got 4 downs or 2 downs to score. I don't know how you do it in college because I don't watch college. But all I know is that both teams get the same opportunity.
yeah. I mean, I think college. I also am not 100% sure. I think you go like a 2 point conversion or something, or you have like a drive to get it. It's something like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think the Bills. I don't think the Bills got screwed over because if they got the ball, they probably would have won too. And they probably Chiefs fans probably would have been saying the same thing about the rule. So I don't. I think it's like kind of a double standard.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just. I think the reason why the Bills were more mad is because the Chiefs had already so much momentum. But like you can't stop that. It's inevitable. That being said, though, I think it was just a great game, and I do feel bad for the Bills fans. But I think the Bills, I just think they had an opportunity. Their defense choked. I mean, that was a huge choke performance by the defense, and there shouldn't have even been overtime for all who's concerned. But I mean, yeah, I don't think the rule. I think the rules are problematic, but I don't think they really benefit against one team because at the end of the day, the coin is random. It's not like the Chiefs had a better chance of getting heads or tails or whatever. It's
Yeah,
like
exactly. It was
50-50.
all
Like
luck.
whether you do rock paper scissors, a coin flip, pick a random number, it's all the same. So like it's not the coin that's the problem. I think it's the rules that's the problem. I think like each team should get a chance with the ball. And I think before this new rule, there was even a worse rule where like you could win with a field goal. And I think that was. And I remember like many Super Bowls were ruined because of that. Well, I guess no Super Bowls, but like different playoff games in the past, like the Raiders like lost because of that rule, and it was just. I mean, they this one is better than that, but it's still not perfect, So yeah,
So, just a couple things. There were 64 games in the last 20 years where a team is down a touchdown or less with 20 or less seconds to go.
yeah,
How many times do you think that team came back and tied or won?
hardly any.
You'd be right because the answer is 0.
Oh, okay, yeah,
0. And Mahomes did it with 13 seconds. He could have done it with 11. Like, he had the time to do it with 11. Like, that's just insane. I cannot get over that. He tied the game with 13 seconds left. The Bills were celebrating on the sideline. I'm sitting on my couch and I'm conceding the game because I think it's over. I thought it was over. Gabriel Davis scored that fourth touchdown to go up with 13 seconds left. I can't believe it. But did you know Patrick Mahomes' game-winning drive was 13 seconds and Dak's QB draw in the wild card was 14 seconds?
Oh my God, that's a crazy stat.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
That is so brutal. Patrick Mahomes, here's another stat for you, had more yards after the 2-minute warning versus the Bills than Jimmy Garoppolo averages per game in the playoffs.
I believe it. Sadly,
that's another stat for you. And then one last thing, this is a well-known one, is that there were 25 combined points in the final 2 minutes of that game. Combined 25 points in the final 2 minutes. That is just a game for the ages. I don't know what to say. Like, it's unreal being on the winning side of that game, and I didn't think it was going to come down to it. But you know what? Let me tell you, as a Chiefs fan, there's been so much heartbreak that, like, over the last couple decades, it's every single year it's the Chiefs who deal with the heartbreak end of these playoff losses, and it's finally turning the tide. Like, we're finally on that winning side of the past couple of years. We've been on the winning side of it, and it's been so unreal to witness as a Chiefs fan because you're so used to losing in dramatic fashion every single year.
Yeah.
You know, you blow a 21-3 lead against Marcus Mariota's Titans. He catches his own touchdown pass. Are you kidding me? You blow a 38-10 lead. You blow a 38-10 lead against the Colts in the wild card several years ago. You lose to New England in the divisional in 2015 by a touchdown. Super close game. You oh my God, you lose to the coin flip, D Ford being offsides in the 2019 AFC Championship. You lose, in that 2016 divisional, you score 2 touchdowns. The Steelers score 0. You still lose. 6 field goals will do that to you.
Yeah.
And then, in the Super Bowl last year, you go into it with a terrible, beaten-up O-line. So, yeah, man,
Yeah. No, I know how you feel.
On the winning side of it, it's remarkable, and I haven't been this, like, excited about a football game in so long. Like, whenever a football game ends, I'll just be like, all right, yeah, that was a good game. Like, and then maybe I'll watch the highlight video the next day and move on. I haven't gotten over this game, and there hasn't been a game like this, for me at least, probably since the Super Bowl 2 years ago. It's just,
right.
I can't even believe it. But now the Chiefs go and they advance to their 4th straight AFC Championship. Patrick Mahomes still hasn't played a road playoff game in his career. All 4 years as a starter, he's gotten to the AFC Championship. What more do you have to say about him? Like, I'm sorry, but and of course this is biased, but to me, he's the best quarterback in the league, and it's not. But Allen proved himself in this game. He is fantastic. He's going to be fantastic for years to come. But Mahomes, he's just the best quarterback in the league, and nobody else can prove me otherwise or convince me otherwise. He's just been remarkable. In his 4 years as a starter, 4 AFC Championship games, 2
Crazy.
Super Bowls. He's the real deal, man. And I think we solved that in his starting year. But
yeah. No, yeah, that's 4 straight thing. That's crazy. And I mean, this game was just, it was just, I can't even put into words how crazy it was. Like, it almost reminded me, it wasn't, I mean, obviously this game wasn't as cool, but like the Chargers-Raiders game, like that, I thought that game was the best game of the year. But then I watched this game and then I was like, oh my God. And just to see like the teams go down the field in like 2 plays, like Josh Allen throwing dimes to Gabriel Davis and then Mahomes, finding Kelsey for a touchdown. And it was just back and forth.
So on and on, man.
Yeah. And I mean, I know we mentioned this, but like all 4 games ending in a walk-off, like crazy.
Best divisional weekend ever, and nobody can tell me otherwise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And I mean, no, this was the only one that went into overtime, but like I think it was definitely the best one in terms of excitement. And yeah, I mean the team I wanted to win didn't win, but like I said, I always appreciate a good matchup at the end of the day, no matter it being a team I don't like or whatever. So yeah,
So
AFC champion is gonna be interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
So who do you think led this like? Oh, let me reword this. It's too early for this shit. Who do you think led the NFL this week in rushing yards? I want to know your answer.
Um. Geez, Debo Samuel? No, I have no idea.
It was Patrick Mahomes.
No way. That's
Patrick
crazy.
Mahomes led
I knew it
all
was on this.
NFL players this week in
Yeah,
rushing yards, passing yards, and total yards. All three of those this week. He led the league. All against the number one rated defense in the NFL.
that's insane.
So
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, you got to be kidding me. This guy just doesn't stop. But yeah, I mean, I guess with that being said, man, I'm not forgiving you still for choosing the Chiefs to score 15 points in this game. But oh well, shit happens, and you learn from your mistakes, as they say. So
I
now,
don't.
so
I don't think I'll be
now,
making that. Yeah.
yeah, okay, man, this lag is killing it. But
Yeah.
championship weekend is tomorrow. It's Saturday right now, so championship weekend is tomorrow, and it all starts at Arrowhead Stadium against the Cincinnati Bengals. And a lot of people are bringing up the last matchup. A lot of people bringing in the last matchup. Fair enough. Fair enough. I won't tell you how I feel about that week 17 matchup. If you want to know how I feel, go watch my recap, and you'll know how I feel. But all I'm gonna say is that what happened in week 16 will not happen again. Just the amount of BS that went into that game, and when Andy Reid, of all people, is saying that the refs weren't good, then the refs probably weren't very good in that game. So I'm not putting the blame on the refs, but there was some other stuff that went down. Again, I won't talk about it. We're just gonna move on. But who do you have in the Bengals and Chiefs game?
Okay. Well, I'll say this: if I've learned one thing from doing these predictions, I've learned that don't make picks off of emotion. Make them off of reality. And also don't choose the Chiefs to get 15 points. So this week, try something different, and I'm gonna not pick based on bias. I got the Chiefs winning.
There we
Um,
go.
I'm gonna go 35 to 23. Um, because I think it's like both teams have really good offenses, but I feel like at the end of the day, the last time, like I agree, the refs were terrible in that last game in the Week 17 matchup. And I just think, it's hard to beat the team three. I mean, we're going to see that with the Niners Rams game. It's hard to beat a team three times in a season, but it's also hard to beat a team twice in one season, especially if the first matchup was really close, like the last one. So I got the Chiefs winning it. I just think overall they're more experienced. But that being said, though, I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Burrow and Chase have a really good game. But I just think, yeah, the Chiefs are slightly better in my opinion.
Yeah, and I don't think the Chiefs are going to lose this game. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, in the playoffs on live stream when I'm talking to a bunch of people who want to see my predictions as a Chiefs fan, I'm never going to predict the Chiefs to lose. That's just how it is. Just like how you were never going to predict the Raiders to lose in the playoffs. But I will say last week, deep down, I really believed that we were just going to lose to the Bills. Like, I thought they were the better team, and I thought we were going to lose that game deep down, and I knew it was going to be close. But I can say, legitimately, I don't think the Chiefs are going to lose this game. I just don't see it happening. It's Joe Burrow's first time at Arrowhead. In fact, they pumped Paul Brown Stadium with a massive amount of artificial fan noise to simulate Arrowhead Stadium, which I thought was funny. They got throw all that in, Joe Burrow himself said, "Oh well, the SEC stadiums in college were so much louder than any NFL stadium." Okay, well, you're about to be in the world's loudest stadium, so I hope you enjoy your stay.
Yeah, funny.
New quarterbacks, young quarterbacks, they usually struggle their first time in Arrowhead. It's just facts. And I think Burrow's gonna ball. I think he's gonna have a good game, but I don't. In his first full season as a starter, I just don't really see him going all the way to a Super Bowl. I really do.
Yeah, and I
Um,
mean, like, yeah, the Chiefs have just so much momentum on their side. I mean, they've had two really epic victories where they've scored 40 plus points in both, I believe, right? So they, I just think the Bengals have had a good playoff run so far. But let's not forget that the Chiefs have played better in the playoffs so far. The Bengals have barely won both of their games, right? They beat the Raiders because, and all dare I say it, there was terrible reffing in that game, and they beat the Titans because the Titans forgot how to play football for a day. They're playing the Chiefs, who are having the best playoff run in out of the four teams right now by a mile. I mean, no other team within the last four is playing as good as the Chiefs right now. And I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it. So that's just the way I think of it. And I just don't understand how the Chiefs would make it this far with two huge victories in the wild card and the divisional, and then lose to the Bengals, who have an semi-unexperienced quarterback. And will I be necessarily surprised if the Bengals win? Maybe not, but I definitely think that I'm going to stand by my statement that the Chiefs are just playing a lot better in the playoffs. Like, the Bengals are good, but they aren't really even supposed to be here. So yeah.
I I thought whoever was coming out of the Bills Chiefs game was probably going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, if not win it.
Yeah.
So I think the Chiefs are going to win it and head to the Super Bowl again, which I didn't think was going to happen because like making it 3 straight years, that's remarkable. But
Yeah.
I really do believe it's going to happen. I do think we will beat the Bengals. In fact, in about 8 hours from now, I'm hopping on a plane to Kansas City, so I'll be there. I'm excited, man. I haven't been to Arrowhead this year, so
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it. Back to that officiating crew. You know how I feel towards the officials. I got
Yeah.
nothing but respect for them. You know what I mean? Like they got a difficult job at the end of the day, but what went down in that Week 17 matchup was just inexcusable. And
Yeah.
and the NFL a couple days ago awarded 3 of those refs from that officiating crew in Week 17 the Super Bowl this year. And I saw that,
Wow.
I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" Really,
Yeah.
like after that, I will say though, because it's Ron Torbert, the head ref. It wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily Torbert who was, because he stands in like behind the quarterback. You know what I mean? So he's not the one calling pass interferences every single play. That's those down judges, and I don't. I think of the 3 refs. I think really only one of them going to the Super Bowl had a couple of bad calls. But I'm not watching film. I'm not evaluating each individual referee's game, and but I will say they can't be as bad as they were,
Yeah.
in the Super Bowl. But we'll see. We'll
Well,
see.
yeah,
And
the Bengals get a lot of good calls. I mean, I'm just gonna point this out, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
hopefully they don't make a huge impact
I don't
if
think they'll
if it,
need to. I mean, the
yeah,
Chiefs in that last game kind of shot themselves in the foot in a sense too,
yeah,
because at the very end of the first half, well, who was it? Tyreek Hill or Mike Hughes? It was somebody on the Chiefs. I don't really remember who. I want to say it was Tyreek Hill. They returned the kickoff for a touchdown. It was called back for a holding that was on the other side of the field from where the run back happened. So that was a stupid call. And then the very next play, Patrick Mahomes would chuck it like 70 yards downfield, and Tyreek hit him in the chest, just dropped it. So the Chiefs had opportunities to get a field goal or a touchdown at the very end, 2 of them, and they just shot themselves in the foot, and it just all went downhill from there. No denying that Joe Burrow is a fantastic quarterback, and he's going to be a fantastic quarterback for several years. But It's just I don't think it's his time right now.
Yeah,
And
I know.
I got the Chiefs winning.
Yeah, I think experience is everything. That being said, though, I mean, rookie quarterbacks or second-year quarterbacks have made it to the Super Bowl, but like you said, it's not really his time yet. I don't think. I think he's very close, but yeah, he's going to be a great quarterback for hopefully. I mean, we'll see generations, maybe decades. I don't know. We'll see. Um, but yeah, that's definitely going to be a good game, though.
So there we go. We got both of us got the Chiefs moving on. Now we're moving on to San Fran and LA. I think San Fran has a 6-game win streak on the Rams. So
Correct.
that is something to take into account when coming up with these predictions. I tried to piece together like a fair prediction, and I just really haven't been able to yet. It's going to be so neck and neck, I feel like. The Rams, they cannot play how they played against the Bucs in the second half of that game. They just can't do it. San Fran's going to give them a run for their money. Straight up. I mean, and they have this mentality, like I've said, where they just don't give a shit who you are. They're going to play a full 60 minutes of just tough, hard football.
For sure. And I think that 6-game win streak, I don't know if you can really take that too seriously, just because like 4 of those 6 games were at quarterback for the Rams. Don't get me wrong, I love Jared Goff, but like Matthew Stafford is a significant upgrade. But also, like, you know, the Rams just have a problem with choking, I think. Like that second loss in week 18, that the Rams had the game in the bag. They just aren't smart at the end of the game. And like same with the Bucs game. They were so dumb with their play calling. They were fumbling balls. They were just having in and out drives and whatnot where they don't score. But I think I'm just going to straight up give my prediction now. And I know this is sort of predicting off of emotion, but I'm going to let myself do it. I got the Rams winning this. I just think it's really hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. Like it's extremely difficult. But if any team can do it, though, the Niners can do it because they've beaten the Rams so many times, and they're a scary team right now. But both Niner playoff games, they've played better than their opponent, but they haven't played super good. And I think the Rams have played solid football. I'm not going to say great football just because they've choked. That being said, though, if I had to make a score prediction, I'm going to say it's going to be a pretty like high scoring game decently. I think I'm going to go like 24-21 maybe. Rams and like maybe a final second field goal. Who knows? Something like that. I just got the Rams winning it. I just feel like Cooper Kupp has been incredible. Tyler Higbee, I think people sometimes overlook like how good the Rams offense is because they've got a great defense as well.
Yeah.
But I think Matthew Stafford needs to play the best game of his career because, I mean, I think you could definitely put some of the blame on him for almost choking that lead against the Bucs. But I think the Rams also had a fumbling issue. But I think San Francisco wouldn't be surprised if they won, kind of like the Bengals. I wouldn't be necessarily surprised if they won because they are a very scary team. You know, I can hate them all I want, but like they're at the end of the day, I have to acknowledge that they're playing some of the best football I've ever seen from a team that barely made it in the playoffs. So
I think if the Rams defense contains Deebo Samuel, they win the game. Simple as that. Because you can't rely on Jimmy Garoppolo to put up 400 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. You can't do it. And so I don't know. Man, it's going to be a close game. This is a home game for the 49ers. We already know SoFi is going to be packed with the Niner Nation. And just like it was earlier this year, the Rams actually tried to block Niner fans from tickets, but they were like, you know what, Rams fans aren't going to come to this anyway. There will be a lot of Rams fans there, but I just think it'll be more Niner fans. You know, you have a California fan base who's been supporting their team in giant fan bases for the last several decades. Then you have a California team who's been in California for 5 years. So it's there's no secret that the 49ers just have a much better and bigger fan base.
Right.
So the Niners, they're going to pack SoFi for sure. And honestly, like if the Chiefs win against the Bengals, I think it would be more of a road game for the Chiefs if they had to play the Niners at SoFi in the Super Bowl than if they had to play the Rams.
Didn't realize that. Yeah, no matter who they it's going to be an away game because of the Rams.
Yeah,
I mean,
which is bullshit because that's two road Super Bowl games back to back years. But you know what? Whatever, man. It'll be less of a advantage this time around. I think
yeah,
if the Chiefs win,
yeah, and I think
So
I think crowd noise is going to make a huge impact. I honestly do because I think Niner fans have the right to be mad right now. I mean, I think what the Rams did is pretty stupid. I mean, I guess they don't want to sell. Like, it just seems very cocky to me. Like you're so confident in your own fans to show up that you're not going to sell to San Francisco fans. And if I was a San Francisco fan, I would be mad because I'd probably want to go to that game. But I just think the Rams don't have quite the fan base the Niners do. 49er faithful. I hate them, but like they're some of the best fans in the NFL. They're some of the most loyal fans. The most popular team in LA is the Raiders. Okay, that it'll always be like that. The Raiders are in LA.
I agree.
So that's going to make an impact. I think not only that they're going to pack the stadium, but they're angry. These Ram executives wanted to disallow them from attending the game, and I mean, this is weird. But yeah, I just think I'm sort of choosing out of emotion, but also a little bit out of logic, and I think the Rams are going to win this. But I think also if they're going to win this, they're going to have to do like what you said. They have to hold off Deebo Samuel. They got to hold off Kittle, even though he hasn't really been a huge impact. He's also dealt with injury. And they need Matthew Stafford to be near perfect. Like Matthew Stafford in the first half of the Bucs game, almost perfect. Second half, no. So we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a great game, though, for sure.
And back to your point about the Raiders having the biggest fan base in LA, I even think the Chiefs probably have the same amount of fans, if not more, than the Rams do or the Chargers do. Because at StubHub Center, for the past couple of years when the Chargers were playing in that, it was always a Chiefs home game. And it wasn't even like close either. Now, I will say the Charger fans have been showing out at SoFi Stadium. When I went to the game, it was probably more Charger fans, if I'm being honest. It's probably 60-40, but there's still a significant amount of Chiefs fans there. The Chiefs just have a big following in LA for whatever reason. I don't really know. The Chiefs are just one of those teams that everybody kind of over the course of decades kind of loves, and it passes around to different fan bases in different cities. But anyways, I also have the Rams in this game, and I'll tell you why. I think it could go either way, honestly, and I wouldn't be shocked at all if the 49ers won. But to your point, beating the same team 3 times in a row, much less 7 times in a row, because that is what the Niners would have to do to win this game, is win a 7th consecutive game against a divisional rival. And this isn't Chiefs-Broncos, where it's an automatic win for the Chiefs every time, and it has been since week 2 of 2015. This is 2 good teams playing in probably arguably the best division in football. There was a good point made by Nick Wright about why the Titans and the Packers lost. Strength of schedule. Their divisions were terrible. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, you got to beat the Vikings twice, the Lions twice, and the Bears twice. I mean, that's 3 weak teams right there. You look at the Bucs, the NFC South, they got to play the Falcons twice, the Saints twice, and the Panthers twice. That's not very competitive either. And then you have the Titans division. Oh God, don't even get me started. You have the Colts, the Texans, and the Jaguars, for crying out loud.
Terrible.
So, Is it really a surprise that the Packers and the Titans folded in the playoffs? Honestly, with how bad their divisions were, maybe not. But you see, the NFC West is fighting for a spot in the Super Bowl, and that shows what a great division is.
Yeah,
and
so
the Bengals, it would be a tough game, but it'd be a really tough game. But I have LA winning.
Yeah, and I think all remaining teams in the Final Four, all had pretty hard schedules because the Bengals too. I mean, they had the Steelers in the division. They have the Ravens, who they were okay this year. They had to play some. And I also take into account they have a very young quarterback. So I think all teams, you made a great point. Like all teams remaining have good divisions, right? Like the AFC
Yeah.
North isn't a great division. It's a good division though. I mean, the Steelers made the playoffs, the Ravens almost made the playoffs, and the Bengals, of course, made the playoffs. The NFC West, I think, is the best division in football, but I think the AFC West is the second best division in football
Yeah.
because you have Justin Herbert and the Raiders. I mean, I'm a little biased, but I think the Raiders kind of proved that statement to be true. I mean, we beat the Chargers, we swept the Bengals, and I think the Chiefs, of course, played great in that as well. But I think that kind of just goes to show that the Chiefs are just like, deserving to be at the top of it. So yeah.
Yeah, the AFC West is fantastic minus the Broncos. You get rid of the Broncos and it's the Raiders, Chargers, and Chiefs, and it's still a top 3 division. It's in the league. The Raiders made the playoffs, the Chargers didn't. So that says something. I still can't believe that. That's shocking to me because Herbert is a fantastic quarterback. It's going to be and I think you can agree, it's going to be a bitch to play him for the next 10 years, twice a year. He's a good quarterback, and I'm shocked he didn't make the playoffs this year. But the Raiders, they proved that they could make it, and they played good this year. They had a great season, almost beat the Bengals. And you know what? I hate to bring this up, so try not to reminisce on it, but the Chiefs kind of kicked the Raiders' ass 2 times this year, and then
Yeah.
the Raiders, and then the Raiders barely lose to the Bengals. I think that's another fun thing to look at. The Bengals what was it? A field goal, a touchdown? The Bengals barely snuck by the Raiders, a team that Kansas City wiped the floor on in both matchups this year. They can't play they can't play the Chiefs how they played the Raiders, and they can't play the Chiefs how they played the Titans. They have to bring intensity. Joe Burrow, I forgot to mention this, got sacked. An NFL playoff record 9 times. He tied the NFL playoff record. 9 times he got sacked in this game against the Titans. That's insane. If Frank Clark and Chris Jones can get in there, which they will. The Chiefs had 4 sacks against Burrow in the Week 17 matchup. If they can get in there 4 more times this time around, one of those has to be a fumble. I'm sorry, one of them has to go the Chiefs' way. And as long as the Chiefs don't have any turnovers, or you keep the turnovers to 1, I think the Chiefs' chances are just that much better. Because the Bengals are going to have to play the Chiefs how the Bills played the Chiefs, even slightly better than the Bills played the Chiefs. And I don't think the Bengals are as good of a team as the Bills are. And I think, honestly, Chiefs players after that Week 17 matchup wanted a rematch, wanted to play them in the playoffs. I even said in my recap, I think I said in my recap, if not, I definitely said it to my friend Danny, who's a big Bengals fan, was talking a bunch of shit to me after the Week 17 matchup. I want this to be the AFC Championship game. I said I want this, and I hope this is the AFC Championship game. And look where we are. It's Bengals Chiefs again.
Yeah.
I am so excited. This is my dream scenario, my friend. Let me just tell you right now, this is exactly what I wanted, because I think after the ridiculous sequence of events that happened in Week 17, I think all the Chiefs players wanted this rematch. I think they are motivated to just kick their asses. Honestly, I believe that. Like, they know what they're going up against.
And I just think, to your point, I think at the end of the day, it's the better team. And the Chiefs had a harder route to where they are now than the Bengals. Because the Chiefs started out the season playing like crap. And I mean, you can deny that because I know you're very frustrated.
Oh, I didn't think we were. But I kind of, for the sake of history, I won't take down my video titled "Why Are the Chiefs Struggling?" But I am embarrassed to admit that I had the team winning 6 games when at the time of recording that video, because they were pissing me off to the extent where I seriously believed that they were incapable of making the playoffs. But but
maybe they saw.
And people are gonna say shit about it, like, oh my god, fair weather fan, you don't believe in your team, blah blah blah. Listen, it just shows how much I love my team. That like when they struggle, I, it's just the emotions take over, and I can't do anything but be a pessimist about it, especially after all the heartbreak. But I saw a tweet recently from a Chiefs fan on Twitter. I don't know who it was, but ever since I saw it, I was like, you know what? That is a fantastic point. I'm gonna take that and do what I will with it. But he said, Chiefs fans, just have fun watching this team for these playoffs because we are in the golden era of this franchise with Patrick Mahomes, and there's always a chance that the Chiefs will win. And I'm just like, you know what? That's a fantastic point because what we've seen with Mahomes, we didn't see with Alex Smith. We sure as hell didn't see with Matt Castle. We didn't really see with Trent Green back in the early 2000s. We saw a little bit of with Joe Montana. Before Mahomes, you have to go all the way back to the beginnings of the franchise. I'm talking Lynn Dawson, Super Bowl IV. Like, that was our last quarterback that... And even then, Lynn Dawson wasn't by any means like an elite quarterback. He was above average in his time. He was a Super Bowl IV MVP. He's a Hall of Famer for a reason. But at the end of the day, Mahomes is easily the best quarterback this franchise has ever seen, and it is the golden era of the franchise because I mentioned the luck earlier. We've been on the bad luck side of it for years, decades, and now we see it with Mahomes turning the tide. And so last week against Pittsburgh, I was getting mad in the first quarter. The Chiefs were struggling. They put up 0 points in the first quarter, and I was just like, are you kidding me? This is the Steelers. And I was like, if we keep playing like this, we're going to lose. Blah, blah, blah. I wasn't happy. And then we ended up scoring 42 like it was nothing. But then I saw the tweet after that game, and I was like, all right, I know this Bills game is going to be tough, and I know I'm going to be mad, but just remember that tweet. Just have fun watching Mahomes. Just have fun with the game, win or lose. And I took the advice, and it helped me out because I didn't say shit about my own team. I wasn't getting angry. I was just like, listen, just enjoy it. And I damn sure enjoyed that 13 seconds. 13 seconds. Oh my God, that's insane.
Incredible. Yeah. I was thinking about it. Maybe the Chiefs saw your video about why they're struggling and then they took the advice and got better.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's hard to put into words. And I think it's for you probably a million times more incredible because you're a Chiefs fan, and I was on more the losing side because I was rooting for Buffalo. But like I've said many times, I appreciate a good game, and I just think it's crazy. People, a couple weeks ago, like when Aaron Rodgers was getting game-winning drives with a minute left, were saying a minute is too much, and I agree. Then people were saying, 30 seconds is too much because I know there's been other game-winning drives, and now 10 seconds is too much. That's just crazy to think about. And Tyreek really clutch ending there, and yeah, Chiefs. They're gonna have a good game. This conference championship round is probably the best we've seen in a long time, because it's been sort of one-sided. I guess last year was pretty good too, but like the Chiefs beat the Bills pretty easily last year, and the Bucks were just I don't know. You couldn't count the Bucks out last year. Year before that, you have Niners, Packers, and the Niners killed them. And then, of course, the Patriots. Oh, wait, no. Who was it on the other side? I forget. Anyways, it's just, it hasn't been, there's a lot more disparity back then than there is now. Now it's like, it's the best playoffs we've ever seen in a long time, for at least I've ever seen. Because
easily.
My team never.
Yeah. Well, if one positive can be taken from adding a 7th seed on both sides, because there's a lot of negatives taken from it, because we see this is the second year, no 7th seed has yet to win.
Yeah.
Both 7 seeds got their asses kicked this year, and they're just not a very competitive team, the 7th seed. But, there will be years where there will be a great set of teams going into the playoffs, including the 7th seed. We almost saw it with the Chargers. I think the Chargers were 1,000 times better than the Steelers were. If the Chargers would have made the playoffs, they might have beat our asses. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
They might have won. It's just and I was really happy when the Raiders kicked that game-winning field goal in week 18 because I did not want to play the Raiders because, you mentioned the 3 times in a season. I still think we would have won, but it would have been closer certainly. I would have rather not played a division rival. So you did Chiefs Kingdom a favor. Not only did you eliminate the Chargers from the playoffs, but you managed to sneak yourselves into the playoffs. And if it would have come down to Chiefs Raiders, I don't really think I would have been a whole lot worried. I would have been a little bit worried, but I think the Chiefs are the better team. I don't know, man. But the Bengals and Chiefs, I'm excited. I don't think the Bengals are going to put up as much of a fight as the Bills did. I think Burrow's going to have a good game. I think the Bengals are going to score a lot of points. I don't think they're going to score as many points as the Chiefs. Adam Rank on NFL Network said, the Bengals have the clear-cut quarterback advantage in this game. And everybody's like, dude, have you watched the playoffs this year? I mean, at this point, the Chiefs and Mahomes hate is comical. At this rate, they just want the attention and reactions from the despicable remarks they are making. It's honestly astonishing to me how people can still say stuff like that. These experts can go on live TV and say that Joe Burrow is clearly better than Patrick Mahomes in this matchup. Are you kidding me?
I know,
do you think how many? Give Joe Burrow 50 drives with 13 seconds. Out of those 50 drives, I think there's only 2 or 3 where he goes and gets a field goal.
That's crazy, dude.
At most, it's remarkable. But
I know, I didn't know that's Adam Rank is usually like reliable, you know. Like,
I know, but he's being stupid this week. See, here's the thing. The Chiefs are trending towards becoming the new Patriots in terms of being the most hated in the league. But when you have as much success as the Chiefs have had, making 4 AFC Championship games in 4 years, making 2 Super Bowls in 4 years, you are bound to have hate because people don't like seeing the same team dominate over and over and over again. It's the nature of the sport. And that's why Tom Brady was hated for so long. That's why the Patriots are hated. But Chiefs fans, we just got to embrace it. Because you know what it means? You know what all the hate means? It means that we are a great team. That's what it means.
Yeah. I also think a lot of the hate comes because of Mahomes' family.
Oh, absolutely. But I think, you take Brittany Mahomes and Jackson Mahomes out of the equation, I still think the Chiefs are hated on a lot just because they're good. But listen, not very many Chiefs fans. I mean, I guess a lot do just because they're a part of our team, I guess. But I don't tolerate the shit I see week in, week out with Jackson Mahomes. I see so many memes about, Joe Burrow, you're our last hope from Jackson Mahomes twerking at the Super Bowl. I laugh at that shit. I think it's so funny because I agree with it because I'm like, I don't want to see Jackson Mahomes TikToks on NFL memes on Instagram either. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see that. The dude makes a fool out of himself. And then you have Brittany, who's pouring a bottle of champagne all over Chiefs fans in the freezing temperatures. And I'm like, dude, if I'm a Chiefs fan sitting there, I'm cheering, and then I feel champagne being sprayed on me. My face instantly turns to pissed off. I'm turning around. I'm seeing who the fuck's pouring champagne all over me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if you're Patrick Mahomes' wife. That's annoying.
Yeah. And what if you didn't know it was champagne? What if you thought it was like a leak in the stadium? What if you thought it was someone peeing? You know, like it's ridiculous. And I could honestly see. What's the thing with the Mahomes family pouring water on people or champagne? You know, Jackson did like the same thing.
Oh my God, he did that against the Ravens, I believe, in week 2 maybe. But that was oh my God.
you got to feel bad for Patrick because like his legacy, I don't think it's going to be tarnished by this, but like people
No,
don't take him.
it won't. But people remember his family. Nobody has a disrespecting towards Patrick Mahomes. I think most people think the same thing. Mahomes himself is a very, very respectable person. He scores the game-winning touchdown against the Bills. What's the first thing he does? Runs over to Josh Allen just to tell him that he's great and he's going to be fantastic, whatever. Mahomes is such a great person, and he's proven that. He's shown that he's a great person. But his family, they're just, I'm sure Brittany's a nice person behind the cameras, right? I'm sure she's a nice person in real life, but she gets annoying. See, the difference is that Jackson Mahomes can be an actual dick, pouring water on fans. Brittany's not like a dick. She's just annoying, like
Yeah,
always
yeah,
recording herself with her screechy voice. Let's go! La, la, la. It's like, okay, we get it, we won, but I don't want to hear you screaming into my camera, And then she
yeah.
says some stupid things on social media that gets a lot of
Oh,
hate too.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, more so at the beginning of the year, but yeah, I know what you mean. That's just
yeah.
it's annoying. Yeah,
Just know, as a Chiefs fan, I don't like it either. I
yeah,
don't like it either. But I'll tell you what, Mahomes himself, he doesn't do that stuff, and it 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 shows
yeah.
because he's a humble guy. He's a great guy.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's about
yeah.
all I got.
Anything else you were thinking about talking about, or
It's 11 a.m. It's what 8 a.m. for you. You woke up at what 6:45 to get on stream here.
I did?
That's ridiculous. So thank you for doing that. But you already know it's a grind. So you know you upload literally about 20 times more than I do on a weekly basis. So this is nothing new for you.
Yeah,
But yeah, I appreciate it. You found this. We were struggling to find a time to do this all week, and
yeah,
then we had to come to the census that Kanov just couldn't be here because he was the busiest out of all of us. There was just no time frame for all three of us to get on at the same time. But here's his video again, just so he's in the stream,
yeah.
and
There you go. That's
but
funny.
yeah. So I
Yeah,
don't on that end I don't really have anything else. I think the Chiefs are gonna win. I think the Rams are gonna win. But
same here.
will I didn't realize this, but the one Bengals Super Bowl that they played in back I think 81 was against the 49ers. I didn't know
But,
that.
yeah,
So
Joe Mon-
it would have been it will be a Super Bowl rematch if it is Bengals Niners, and it will be a Super Bowl rematch if it's Chiefs Niners. So
Yeah,
that two potential Super Bowl rematches here. Um,
yeah,
after we beat the Niners in Super Bowl 54, I did not think we would ever see a Chiefs Niners just because the Niners kind of felt like a one-off, like 1 year team. But no,
yeah.
like they're almost right back in this thing.
I know it's crazy. One bad year, and then they're
It is
back.
crazy. Now I will say
Yeah,
if it is Chiefs Niners, I'm not really scared because I don't think that the Niners defense against the Chiefs against in Super Bowl 54, it was one of the best defenses in NFL's history. They were insane. The Chiefs, so insane to where they held the Chiefs to 10 points through the first three quarters. The Chiefs would end up winning by 11, mind you, but the only defenses can only go for so long before they get worn out, and I don't think the defense is as good as they were 2 years ago by a long shot. And you certainly can't rely. Deebo Samuel is the reason their offense exists. He's the only thing powering their offense. And
for sure.
if the Chiefs defense can shut down, let's just say if the Rams, because we're still a week ahead, but if the Rams can shut down Deebo, they shut down the game and they win. Easy as that.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
if the Niners get back, then I don't see many people taking Garoppolo over Mahomes in that game.
For sure. Yeah, I completely agree. And glad we could have worked this out because I know we all have busy schedules
Yeah,
in our
man,
life.
difficult, but get it done.
Yeah. Well, I think that's all for
Yeah,
me.
that's it for me too. I guess we will
Yeah.
see you all in 2 weeks because it will be Pro Bowl next week. So we got that 2 week break before Super Bowl, but we will see you in 2 weeks most likely for the Super Bowl predictions. Hoping for a Chiefs Rams. To be fair, to be honest, I'm hoping it's Chiefs Rams, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what unfolds this weekend. Catch y'all later, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Casey, for joining once again. Catch you later.